Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to a special Reading FC YouTube video. In this video, it is going to be broken down into two parts. The first part is going to be the build up to Wigan. We're going to go through all of the head-to-heads, my opinion on the game, how I feel going into the game, everything about it. And then the second part is going to be all about the Mark Bowen get-together, gathering, meeting. Don't really know which one you want to do it. Meet and greet. Maybe that might be the best way to put it, but that's the second part of that. I'm going with my father-in-law to go and watch it. So it will turn into like a video and then into a vlog type thing where we would go together. There will be a few things I do. I'll write down some notes and then come home and give my end thoughts and go through all of that. So this might be a little bit longer video than normal, or it might not. It all depends on how long the Wigan one takes for me to do it. I also want to say thank you to everybody on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook that have commented the predictions for the game. I have been overwhelmed by the amount that I've had to sort of screenshot to put on a document so I actually know who said what so far. It's been overwhelming. It's been fantastic as well. So thank you guys. Keep it going. One more game after this one. We'll do it then, and then I'll come up with some ideas to do as well to get everyone involved during the summer as well. So yeah, that's why I've also just woken up as well. So I'm a little bit, but let's get into it. Let's go and talk about Wigan first. Then we will go to the Bowen. But there's going to be two videos into one. That's why it is what it is. I was going to do two separate ones, but then I thought about it thinking, no, let's do it all in one. Let's make one big video and then you guys can sit down, watch it and do what you thought of it. I'll try and record what I can inside as well. I've also written my questions to him as well, so hopefully if they get answered, I'll be able to record that as well, see how we do it. And then if there's any specific questions, I'll try and record what his reactions are to it, if I'm allowed. If not, I'll just write them down and sort of say how it is afterwards. But yeah, let's get into Wigan, shall we? Hit my intro. Hello and welcome. Thank you guys for joining us today. We are going to be doing a lot of talking to start off with, and then we will then, as I said before, going into the vlog type where we will be going to the Mark Bowen meet and greet, where hopefully my question gets answered, and hopefully lots of answers will be made for you guys as well that have asked questions as well, and we get what we're looking for out of it. So yeah, so that's going to happen later on. But first, we're going to talk about briefly the Coventry game. Then we're going to go on to the Wigan game and my thoughts on that. Going to go through all of the predictions because there's so many from that, and then we'll go into the Mark Bowen chat type thing. So yes, right. Let's get into it. So yeah, disappointing. I thought what Noel Hunt did with the team sheet beforehand was a very good idea, bringing Mo Kamara in to put him on the wing instead of Forner, because I think Forner hasn't performed that well on the wing recently. He needs to be more central. I feel like Forner's becoming the Ovi Ajaria of the team, where he has the skill base to do stuff, but he hasn't got the directness of a winger to really be effective down that left-hand side of that wing. When he gets there, he sort of goes up and does a few skills and then realizes he can't outpace them, so he goes back, which then we have to then recycle everything. But everybody, when he does get it and does go down that route, it does look effective and it does look like something that we need. And I think that's one of our main priorities this summer, is to get proper out-and-out wingers, because with the system we have, if we have proper out-and-out wingers with a player like Andy Carroll in the middle, the service to him is going to be brilliant, or Chow, or Mate, or Long, or whoever we're going to have up top next season, or Kelvin, if he's going to be here next season as well, to get more game time as well. So for that to happen, I think that needs to happen a little bit more. And it just wasn't our day. Coventry are the better team. It is a away game for us as well. We don't really do away from home anyway. And for Jal to score is great to see him keep getting his confidence up and keep going as well. Um, he's sort of becoming like a number 8 of the team, number 8, number 9, where he just sits behind the striker and sort of dictates the play around. He's, he hasn't got the work ethic of what Tom Ince has, but he's got the strength and the ability to hold the ball up and pass it to where it needs to go to. And I think that's what we're needed. And I think that might suit him a little bit better than what we've had with him before. And for him to keep taking his chances he's taken, it's great to see for his confidence and for him and everything moving forward. So that is brilliant. And that's fantastic to see as well. So the defeat aside, not a great way. People are now saying we're down. I don't believe that. I've said since that game that I don't believe we will get relegated until I see that our next to our name in the table that says we are officially relegated. I believe we will stay up. And I still believe that now, sitting here on Wednesday, 26th of April. What's the time now? I'm going to tell you, all behind the scenes. 2:10. I'm recording this. And I still believe we're going to stay up. Am I nervous about the game? Absolutely. For me, this is the last chance saloon for the club. For the players on Saturday, we will get more into that in a minute. But before I do anything else, I want to say thank you guys ever so much for all the love and support you guys have done over the recent videos. It has been amazing. It has been fantastic. I can't appreciate the love as much as what you guys have been doing. And with that, I just want to say thank you very much. All of you guys interacting with me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of those places, TikTok as well. As you can see down below, here is the links to all of our social media pages. So make sure you go and follow us. Make sure you go and check us out. And if you do have any questions about anything, there's anything you want me to do, go and put in the comments in this video. If not, give me a tweet, Facebook message me, whatever makes you guys happy, go with that. And I will happily do any of that for you guys as well. Right, walking into Wigan, we are going into a game where win, I think we will stay up. Lose, we will be in League One. That's basically the ramifications for this match, in my personal opinion. I think we will do it well in this game. If we play like we did against Luton and Burnley, I think we will do well. And I think if we play the way in some parts of the game against Coventry, I think we will do well as well. My only issue is defending. Defending is going to be a massive issue. But I need these players to grab this game by the bollocks and play from the front foot the whole game. I don't care if we're 1-0 up, 2-0 up, 4-0 up. Grab as many goals as you can. Or if we're 1-0 down, 2-0 down, do not give up. It's as simple as that. Reading have tweeted out today that, probably posted on all their socials, that Club 1871 is sold out with their expansion that they've done for this game, for the game against Wigan. So all I can say is the past 2 home games, the atmosphere has been electric, and I have loved it every second of that, even though I have been a bag of nerves and I'm struggling to get through these games. But it has been epic. The support, the fans, the thing that we needed about 10 games ago, we're getting now, and now we have to deliver on what we've got now. And I think these players have to understand that. They have to understand that this is do or die. I don't care if you're a former Champions League player, or you're looking to go and play in a different league next season, or you want to get an improved deal on your contract, or you're looking to gain some sort of credibility for next season. Use it. Whatever has to get you through this game, whatever has to get you to get these goals, do it. At this point, I do not care what motivates you. All I care about is the end result. And tomorrow, Saturday, fuck me, I get that right, will be the definition of what has to get right. Right, I'm now going to look over this way because I have everything over here. Let's talk about Reading versus Wigan before we get into Wigan's form, shall we? And then we will get into predictions and then my final end thoughts, and then we will move on from there. Right, so Reading have beaten Wigan 19 times. Reading have drawn 11 times, and we have lost to Wigan 19. Pretty even. Over the previous 6 fixtures, we have beat them 4 times out of 6, drawn 1 and lost 1. So in 2016, we beat them 3-0. 2017, we beat them 1-0, drew 0-0 in 2018. Beat them 3-2 in 2019. I think that, no, 3-1 in 2019 as well. That was the Puskas 5-minute hat trick, if I remember. And then lost 3-0 to them in 2020 at home. And then beat them 1-0 away in 2022. Let's talk about the form table so far. Currently in the form in the overall last 6 games, Wigan are 10th. Played 6, won 3, drawn none, lost 3. Scored 4, conceded 5, a goal difference of -1. Reading have played 6, won none, drawn 4, and lost 2. At least the losers are going down. And have a goal difference of +0. Away form. Wigan are 19th in the away form. Played 6, won 1, drawn 1, lost 4. And they have a goal difference of -5, scoring 2 and conceding 7 times. Reading at the current moment, home form, we are 22nd out of 24. As I said, played 6, drawn none, won none, drawn 4, and a goal difference. Wigan's last 6. Interested to read. Let's go back to the 1st of April. In the 1st of April, they beat QPR 1-0. They lost to Sheffield United 1-0. Lost to Swansea 2-0 at home. Lost to Blackpool away 1-0. Beat Stoke 1-0 and beat Millwall 2-1. So they're erratic like us, except we don't win. Their form as well. So this game is anything to go by. This game is up for anyone, and it really is up to anyone who wants to go out and really put the stamper and their name in history as keeping Reading up again and then building on to next season. But we'll talk about building after the Matt Bowen interview for a meet and greet, and we'll talk about what he's had to say during that, and then we'll go from there. Right, let's move on to now the predictions. We have a lot, so I want to thank everyone on Twitter, Instagram, and especially Facebook groups. You guys on Facebook groups have been nothing but amazing with all the support and with all of the predictions. I have so many pages I have to go through and read through this, and I promised I would read them at the time of this recording. If anyone's done it afterwards, I do apologize. But hopefully I always do it a day before I start recording so that enough time people can go on there and be able to do it. And there's a lot of different groups as well. So hopefully you guys will be able to see it and find it and go for it. First, we have Twitter. On Twitter, we've got Grace, who's put 3-2 Reading, and Tom Mahoney, who has been a great person on the show. I say every week, always delivers on Twitter, has gone for a 1-0 to Wigan. I liked you, Tom. Also, Charlie, who's a Bristol fan who I know likes to get involved as well. He's put a 2-0 Reading. I love that, Charlie. Duncan Woolbridge has put we're losing 2-1 in the last minute. Right, now here we go to all of the Facebook ones. So I'm going to reel them off as quickly as possible. Brian Costello's put 2-2. Tom Ans has put 2-1 Reading up the fucking ding. Jamie Tuttle has put 3-1 Reading. I think the boys will do it if not, well, we are tried, and League One is where we will kick the football. There is upset thrills and there is bump in the road. We will come back better and stronger next season, regardless where we are. Completely agree with that. Denise Sinclair 2-1. Andy May 3-0 Biscuit Men. Love that. Tony Carson 3-1 Reading. Darren Ward is having a great time. 5-0 Reading. Ryan Houghton has put 2-0 Reading and an amazing atmosphere. Completely agree. Sean Farr has put 2-1 Reading. Chris Knight has put will be tight, will be 2-1 Reading. Keith Rickless, I do apologise. If I get your name wrong, please put in the comments down below how to pronounce your names, and next time I will try and do better. He put 4-2 after going 2 goals down at the end of the first half and come back from a Hollywood movie, sees the Royals score 3 in the last 10 minutes with a hat-trick from Shane Long. If that actually happens, Keith, I need your time machine. Sam Hammond has put 3-1 as well. 3-2 home win has put Ricky. Nick Perry has put 1-1. We're hardly free scoring. Sorry for being pessimistic. Don't be sorry. Be better. We will score. Don't worry, Nick. Don't worry. Andy's put 1-0 as we don't have the firepower. Yeah. Millie Eglinton has put I'm going for a 2-0 Reading. Simon Johnson has gone for a 3-0 home Royals win. Dana Arthurs has put 3-1 to the Royals. Ben Bromley has put 1-0 Reading. Ian Robbins has put Wigan have won the last 2. They have. Had to double check that. So he's put 2-1 Wigan. Mal Hilton has put it's a 0-0 for me. Chris Gould has put 3-0 to the Royals and we stay up. Love that. Nigel Scarlett's put 0-0. Alex Miller has put thinks 2-0 to Reading, but if we don't win, we are officially down, I would say. I think I agree with that. Dave Forskew has put hopefully it's a walk in the park. It's not a score prediction, but I like the thinking. Jamie Povey has put 3-0. Come on, you Oz. Love that. Roger has to be a win. Not a score prediction, but thank you very much. Reading to steal a 0-0. Stirling to steal 1-0, not 0-0. Anyway. Fred FC Howe has put squeaky bum time. Yep, not a score prediction. Jamie Marshall, 2-0. A win is 100% needed to keep the fight alive. Completely agree. Angela Lewis, 3-1 Reading. Alan Linton, 2-0. Brian Newport, 3-0 or bust. Pat Leach with the final one. Hopefully a win for Reading. Not a score prediction, just an opinion. But that is great. Thank you guys ever so much on there as well. We do this every single game. Well, every single Saturday game. It's a bit difficult to do the midweek games. Every single Saturday game. We will go through if there is someone that has won, a winner. You don't win anything apart from my love and affection. Not even my partner wants that. Anyway, so yes, so for me, I'm going for a 2-0 Reading win. I think we've got this in the bag. I don't care about Wigan's last 2 games. I feel like we're at home. The atmosphere is going to drag them. We're going out there. They're going to do everything they can. I have full belief in this team to get us out of this danger. I am not resigned to relegation. I am not being. When I resign, you will see a video on most probably me crying, which will go everywhere most probably because I've seen us get promoted twice, and I could see Reading get relegated 3 times. The 2 promotions were nice though. Anyway, thank you guys ever so much for joining us. You guys have been amazing. I want to say thank you to everyone that's been able to participate in this channel. Before I go and I say bye, that's because we're going to go over to the vlog and it will just cut over to that. So from this part of the Wigan one, thank you. And I will see you guys in a moment for the Muck Bowen. Right, as I said in the edit, you are now cut to I am now waiting at the bus stop to go to town. I'm ready to go to see Mark Bowen. First we're going to go meet my father-in-law, who we're then going to go and make our way there, and then go in and see what it's like and what we do and where we go and everything about that from then on. So yeah, I think I might have just missed my boss. It's a great start of the day. If you don't know already, I was quite ill over the weekend. Very, very ill, and I still don't feel great. So, yeah, a bit annoying, but it is what it is. Let's get into it. Right, and I'm here. You can hear the nice little music in the background, but I'm here, looking forward to it. A lot of people started to gather and come up. What is the time anyway? Let me have a look. It's 20 to 7, so we've got about just under an hour until it starts. Have got our free beer or cider, whatever makes you happy. So yeah, just sitting around waiting to see what happens and what goes on. I'll try and record as much as I can during it. If not, I'll talk about it more on the way home and when I'm at home, which will make it a lot easier because I can concentrate and try and do it from there. But we shall see. And if you've been to the event, put down in the comments down below what you thought about the event as well. This is a nice place. Good. Looking forward to it.
Of it that you have a situation which is described as P&S, profit and sustainability, which you don't know, but it's fairly simple that championship clubs are allowed to lose up to £13 million a year. That's what they're allowed to lose. Anything over that, they've got to show by their own dealings and accounts and what money they bring in that they are okay for that amount, let's say. So for example, if the club is spending, let's say, 20 million a year, okay, and losing 20 million a year. If you come back and you say, for example, well, okay, but we're getting 5 million from sponsorship, then the league are okay with it. So when you go through all the accounts, we put forward two years ago, I'm not 100% on the dates, but let's say 2 years ago, 18 months, 2 years ago, we put forward a proposal, a business plan that said, well, okay, if our fall short, we will make up with players' sales. I have to say, I'm being totally honest here, you look at it and you think, well, whoever sort of came up with that plan, it's difficult to follow up on it because, you know, player sales, it's all subjective. Do players even want to leave the club? At what level they want to go to? What prices you get offered? And all things like this. So it was, I was going to say very quickly, but soon enough it was understood, well, we're not quite going to meet that target of player sales. Because you know the marketplace, who's coming in for players, what interest is there, are the players good enough to go to a certain level. So we came back to the Football League and said, well, okay, we'll make up the difference with a situation where we will sell shares in the land around the stadium. There's a lot of land around the stadium, there's planning permission on it and things like that. So we put that to the league. The league looked at it, didn't really comment too much. And then in between the league, the board of the league changed. It went from being more football orientated to they brought in a couple of I can't say QCs, KCs, King's Councillors, judges and whatever, who sat on the board with 1 or 2 other people, and they very quickly came back and said, right, we looked at that, we're not accepting it. That's not in your original business plan, so we're not accepting the situation with the land around the stadium. So in effect, you're in breach. Right, okay, so what are we going to do about it? Do we fight it? And then they came back and said, well, look, you can query it, you can fight it, but you're in breach of your decision. If you fight it, then we will fight you doubly hard going back. But I'm generalising, excuse me for doing so, but if you sort of say, well, you'll take it, probably the wrong words to use, but in good faith, because you have broken the rules, then the situation with the land, we will seriously consider that going forward. So in a nutshell, you take the 6 points, you'll come out with embargo. If you don't take the 6 points, we'll fight you and you'll be embargoed in the summer and you'll still get maybe more points, so take it. We looked at everything, we employed sports lawyers to look through all the details, and eventually, yeah, you have to look and say, well, okay, that the business plan was flawed, we have to take the 6 points.
Hello. This is the second time of me trying to record this. Recorded it on a different device and it decided not to work whatsoever when I tried to edit it. So now I have to re-record. Well, it's taken me to edit off 40 minutes to try and redo it. So absolutely fine, no problem with me. I'm going to get back into it and go through it. So I'm going to be looking over here at some points because I'm going to be looking at my iPad because I wrote down a lot of notes that I thought about the event and what I thought about the whole thing in general and some of the key points that Bowen was talking about. As you have seen just before, as we come into this, Bowen is talking about what happened with the points deduction. I thought in this video that it'd be a good idea for me to show you exactly what he says on that point. He also defended the owner, saying that not a lot of owners will pump in 200 plus million of their own money, and it is fully behind this club now and going forward, no matter what happens. Bowen himself on the points deduction, he said that the form dropped and the morale dropped for Paul Ince to go. Talking of Paul Ince, he says that Mr. Dye is a very loyal man. He will give anyone a load of chance to try and change things around and do things differently, to try and help this club move forward. Yes, he's got things wrong. Yes, he'll get things wrong. No one is perfect, he says, and he wants to make sure that everyone that is in their position is there for a certain amount of time to try and get it done. Could it have been done sooner? This is my personal opinion at this point. Of course, it could have been done sooner, but hearing the reasons and the why, you can understand why Mr. Dye decided not to do it. To a certain point, it got a bit ridiculous nearer to the end. Dye's plans, he has sat down with Bowen, had a conversation when he was appointed, and said that he wants to see a strategy in 5 years. A plan to try and get us out of the mess now. As he said, when he walked into the club, there were 8 players, 5 senior, 3 young players that were left at the club, and he had to build a competitive team with 0 budget and very limited wages and loan fees. We couldn't pay for any loan fees. He has also thanked Mr. Bowen, big clubs, i.e. Newcastle and Chelsea, for understanding the situation we are in and helping us with getting the players that we got at this point. He acknowledges that we stayed in the league as we did last season was all because of Derby's 20-point deduction. We got a 12-point, but it was all down to Derby's 20-point, and that's why we have stayed in this league. He is prepared to do whatever it is to happen. Dye is funding the club, and he will have the last say in anything that happens and goes. So, Mr. Bowen will go there, give his ideas about the footballing side of what's happening and what's going on. He will give recommendations, and he will give what's the football operations and who to appoint and who not to appoint in this football club. When it comes down to hiring and firing, it is all down to Mr. Dye. Mr. Dye will be the one that will fire managers, will be the ones that will sign off that contract for players, and he is the one that will do what he wants to do with the club he has at his disposal. Lots of questions were asked about if Mr. Dye will walk away. There was a heated discussion at the end between Math and Mr. Bowen about the role Mr. Dye has. Bowen has no concerns that whatever comes of this weekend and next weekend after that, Mr. Dye will be here, pushing the club forward. He also, Mr. Bowen, does not like Mr. Warnock. And talking with the heated discussion, there was a question asked where we were allowed to ask a certain amount of questions. And one of the questions was, can we please hear from Mr. Dye? And Bowen said, no, we will not be hearing from him. He is a private person. And Matt said, well, we want to know that he is fully behind what Bowen's trying to do, what the club are trying to do, and everyone's trying to do, pushing the club forward. He wants to hear from that. He wants to hear that he is 100% behind the project of what's going to happen to this club in 5 years' time. Bowen said, why would you want to hear that? We're sitting here today telling you this. If I'm still here. So if I'm still here, that means that I trust what I'm doing to move this club forward. You're not going to hear from Mr. Dye. It's not going to happen, and you just have to trust. And he goes, even if Mr. Dye comes out and says this is this, and everything you wanted to hear, aren't most of you going to turn around and go, well, that's not what he wanted to say. You're just saying that to please us. And I said to Math afterwards, because we had a pint after all of this with my father-in-law, and I said to him, look, question you ask is correct, and the answer is correct. You're at a double-ended sword. No matter the answer, you're not going to please each other. Mr. Bowen's open and happy with everything. One of the topics that was brought up was Di's sister. She's not involved with the club. Not seen. Bowen has never seen her, spoke to her, met her, and never been around the club or anything. The candidate, there is processes that will now be involved to gain the next manager, to appoint the next manager. I mean, they have started. They have been talking to agents and different managers of what they want to do. There are players on that list. I've spoken to one person there today about a certain manager, Dan Cowley. That was the former Portsmouth manager, as he was on the betting list with John O'Shea and Noel Hunt. And he said Dan Cowley will not be in charge. He does not expect him at all, no way, shape, or form, to be at Reading next season, no matter what. But there will be a long process gaining the next manager. There is a lot of qualities that Bowen is looking into. He's looking into a manager that will come in that not only will develop the youth players, but will also develop players that they are now. He wants to make sure that when a manager comes in, that he will be in line with the structure of what this club is going for moving forward. And basically, the players that we're going to be looking at and signing. The players that we're going to be looking at signing are players between 24 and under. Those are the players that we can either build up, bring up, and sell on for profit if we have to. Mr. Bowen is not against us becoming a selling club, which will allow us to generate money and get us to have as much money as possibly can and keep generating money moving forward and pushing us up and up. On money as well, George Puskas, he has an obligation to buy at the end of the season if Genoa get promoted. It is a significant amount of money that has been done. So, yeah, that it looks like that could happen. I think they're 2 points off the playoffs if Gabe had or something like that. Oh, Jesus, I apologise. Luke Southwood, a lot of rumours have been going around at the moment about his imminent departure. There has been no decision that has been made. As he said, as he was talking to everyone, all players will be looking at their contracts at the end of the season and whether the money that we will invest in them will be worth not only the club now, but also the future. Talking of Lucas João, he also, one of the people I spoke to, thinks that this contract that João is on now will be his last big contract. So it will be up to João whether he stays and wants to take less and fight, or wants to leave and go somewhere else. The same with Yaku Mate and a few other players as well. But they have also got a short list, a long list of players that they are putting together that will look at to try and get in the summer for either we're in the Championship or League One. They are also players on that list that even if we stay in the Championship, the players that they will probably get for League One will also be in the running to become a part of our club in the Championship and vice versa. So they have also, as I said earlier, they've got a long list of players that they look at and go at. One of the gentlemen that was there tonight went all the way to Plymouth to watch a game last night, and after 20 minutes, the player that he was watching and wanted to look at got sent off. So it looks like, I think his name was Anthony Evans. I looked it up while he was talking about it. And come back this morning, went back into work, and has come to the event tonight. So, yeah, and also talking about the business plan that we failed, it was £12 million that we had to generate. Apparently, the 8 million or so that Elise got sold for was towards that, but we couldn't find the rest of the money. So what they tried to do is the land around Reading that we own, we can sell or buy, which will mean that the money we could generate from that will go towards that part of it. What happened was there was 2 parts of the EFL. The first part of it were understanding and wanting to look into it and think it was an okay idea if they did it. What happened was they then split that panel and got into magistrates and I can't remember the other one, to come in and look at it. And they said, with everything that's been going on and how it's been doing, you will not have enough time to do any of this, to satisfy our needs to go and do it. You have two options. You either take a 6 point deduction now, where you will be restriction free at the end of the season, or you can fight it until the end of the season and then stay in the embargo and have the points deduction again. Bowen thought it was the best idea for us to take the hit so that we could be free. And I'm fully behind that message, fully behind it. And I think it was great that he did that and thought of it moving forward. What I will say about the overall event, it was lovely to meet certain people there tonight. Math, who introduced me to Mr. Bowen, thank you ever so much. As you can see by the thumbnail, the picture, I've got quite a few on my phone now with me and him. It was lovely to meet him. Very open person. Privately, we had a one-to-one chat, and he was very open in that as well. He did that with a lot of people as well. So he was very transparent in that. And the two gentlemen that come as well were very open in. I talked about new managers, the transfers of the players, what we're looking at, what type of players, and who I think we should be going for. And they were very receptive to that. They probably heard it loads of times. I'm not expected to be water off a duck's back, so I'm not expecting anything out of that that will shock waves around to do it. But I'm happy it's done. I'm very happy to meet it. Math is an extraordinary man. Adam, it was lovely to meet you as well as everyone else. And I want to thank staff for putting on a great event. It was a great event, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you guys ever so much. And yeah, it has eased my nerves now going into the games, in the final two games of the season, because I know that there's a plan in place that whatever happens, happens, and we will be able to get this club back up and back and going again. So I'm not worried in that instance. But at the same time, it's football. I want to win every single game. I want to see us beat every game. We all want to see it. I all predict us to win as well. I'm going for a 2-0 Reading win. I'm very optimistic of us staying up, so very excited. But with that, thank you guys ever so much for joining me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this different type of video. I do apologize. It's gone from a very smart camera to this, but this had to happen because what I recorded on before just did not work. So angry. So yeah, thank you guys ever so much, and I will see you guys for the review of the Wigan game, where I'll be doing live updates and live stuff if I'm able to do it, and then we will have a deep discussion afterwards to see if any one of those predictions that you guys did earlier was correct and what's right, and then we'll see what we can do moving forward. But with that, with care, thank you guys ever so much for joining me. Peace.